We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, I want to start off with an attitude of gratitude. Welcome. I want to jump right into this, and I want to start off this conversation that we're going to have today talking about the Fed rates and the cut that's taking place on September 18th and what that means for the world and US. All right, and then I want to jump into Ripple stablecoin or stablecoins potential coming out. And I want to talk about their system and how their system is wholesale and what the implications could look like and what that can mean for the stablecoins coming out. And when I talk about things, I don't talk about these things from my butthole, all right? I talk about these things through documents. I let the documentation do the talking. I just present the voice and the face of the documents, all right? That's how we're going to run this. Let's check it out. So, Fed to cut rates by 25 basis points, by 25% on September 18th. Twice more in 2024. Reuters poll. So, the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates by 25 basis points at each of the U.S. central bank's 3 remaining policy meetings in 2024, according to the majority of economists in a Reuters poll that found only 9 of 101 expected a half percentage point cut next week. That's that particular rate there sounds pretty good to me. Like it's a sure thing. So let's talk about this. What does that look like? What does that mean? The Fed to cut rates. I remember 2020 as a real estate investor myself. I didn't invest any at this point. But I remember 2020 when the real estate, after the lockdowns happened and people began to renovate their properties and sell their properties. Well, they added value through the renovations and then they sold their properties at a higher valuation. And then the real estate went up and up and up and the real estate blew up. That was a bubble. And then it came back down a little bit now. So we're in a deflationary period. So think about that again. The interest rate to borrow money is going down only by 25 basis points right now. But in total, if we hit a full 1%, think about that. How many speculators are going to be jumping back into real estate? What will that do? That will allow more free flowing of money, but that will allow that real estate bubble that had started to deflate to continue to grow even bigger. So the house that you thought was difficult to get before will be even harder to get now, right? To all you people who are first-time home buyers out there stressing and thinking, if I don't get in the housing market now, I'll never get in. Oh, you better stop with that nonsense, because if you get it now, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. That's what you're gonna get. I would recommend, if you don't know what you're doing in this housing market, to stay clear of it. If you're lying out there and you know what you're doing, there's money to be made from this. If you know what you're looking for, know how to evaluate a property, know how to set the rent rate for your tenants. And if anybody out there wants to learn, by all means, feel free to join the Patreon. I don't advertise it much anymore. I thoroughly enjoy the small group that I have. It feels like a family. It's real nice. But I'm always open to have more people join. Right? So feel free to join. So, as more money floods the U.S. system now, there's more money running freely, easier to gain access to from these banks because it's cheaper now to borrow. It's much cheaper to borrow. Money's running rampant in the U.S. People are investing. The value of the dollar is devaluing because there is much more money in there in this system. Too much money in the system at this point. Well, let's jump into Ripple at this point, or the stable coins. So I keep trying to inform people and let them know that I think Ripple is building a structure or a setup, if you will, such as this. That image is from RippleNet. That's been a staple in RippleNet. How it looks. XRP in the center and then a bunch of digital currencies around XRP itself. And I believe, this is just based off of what I'm reading, how I'm interpreting documentations, and interpreting what these individuals are talking about. Because again, I'm not an insider. Would like to be, but fortunately I'm not. But from my understanding is that's how RippleNet will look. Ripple will have its own stable coins. We've heard of RLUSD. They call it the real stable coin. I guarantee you they'll have the what's it called there? The yen, YEN, RLYEN, RL, whatever, RLGBP, RLMXN. When they come out, I don't know. Japan is on the verge. Right now, with stablecoins coming out, they have regulation in place. You know, let me show you that. Let me show you that. Yeah, they do have regulation in place. Let me show you that. So I'll just read you an excerpt from this. This is Decoding Japan's Trailblazing Stablecoin Regulations, a deep dive into Web3 compliance. This came out, what's 6? January, February, March, April, May, June. June 2nd, 2024. Resilient approach. Where is it I'm looking for? Right here. So global comparisons between Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. I'm going to skip all that. Japan's stablecoin regulations impose stringent conditions allowing only banks, trust companies, and fund transfer services to issue stablecoins. So there's only certain individuals, certain entities that can issue a stablecoin in Japan. Okay? The requirements that 100% of stablecoin assets be held in a trust within Japan and invested solely in domestic bank accounts. Huh. Okay. Underscores Japan's commitment to security. However, this poses a unique challenge, particularly for yen-based stablecoins facing profitability hurdles due to Japan's low interest rates. That's very true. Very, very true. So Japan's response to stablecoin concerns, addressing the elephant in the room, the collapse of crypto projects and ongoing concerns about stablecoin stability, prompted Japan to address the fundamental questions. Do issuers genuinely have the assets to back stablecoins? Japan's stablecoin regulations focus on ensuring the authenticity of assets and their accessibility, aiming to prevent scenarios where investors might face a run on the bank. Moreover, pardon me, I'm just on my day drink right now, enjoying myself. Oh, I feel fly, I look fly. I feel good, you know, I feel good today. It's a good day to be alive. Every day is a good day to be alive, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know where I was at. Okay, so moreover, Japan's stablecoin regulations, while enhancing security, also present a conundrum for issuers aiming for profitability, mandating that 100% of legal currencies backing stablecoins be kept in it. I read that. I don't even remember where I ended off. It's not important. We read the main parts of that I wanted to read to you regarding surrounding the regulations for Japan. And this is what I want to get to now. Here we are. I posted this morning. This is Brad Garlinghouse leading into this insinuation of a yen stablecoin, RL yen, essentially. Listen to this.
So if you're imagining a stablecoin in Japan, what's the time frame?
Well, I think right now Ripple in particular is focused on let's get live with the US dollar stablecoin. Okay. But I think people will want to hold yen stablecoins, and I think that's only a matter of time. And I think the regulators here in Japan, again, about a year ago, passed some legislation around that, and there's some companies going through the licensing process right now to get live.
A lot of the companies.
So now that we have that, I also posted this. I don't know why you don't believe me. I present the facts to y'all. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is shaken up the crypto world. He recently spoke about a possible yen-based stablecoin. This news comes as Ripple gets ready to launch its own USD-backed stablecoin. In the interview, Brad Garlinghouse just said they want to focus on the US stablecoin. But he did not speak to the fact that he doesn't want to do a Japan stablecoin. He said, right now, we want to focus on this. We're not doing this. We want to focus on this. Just like when he was talking about RippleNet before, when he had said we had made a mistake and we're not going to go with RippleNet to follow that direction right now. So RippleNet still exists. It's now Ripple Pay, but it's just in the background because right now they're building out the ecosystem for RippleNet. Because right now it's just a unstable, unbacked crypto asset known as XRP. And don't get me wrong, XRP is fantastic, but it's unbacked. It is not. There's no stability to it, but there are interesting things you can do to it. And I'll show you. This was from David Schwartz I heard the other day. He said you can use XRP as collateral to collateralize a stablecoin, which makes sense because you can use Bitcoin and Ethereum. So a company could essentially use XRP to collateralize a stablecoin. Check this out. So at first, when I first heard this, I posted on Twitter, and I thought they were discussing RLUSD. But when I listened to it again, because I do that, I go back and listen to things several times, because I learn something new every single time, right? You gotta keep going, gotta keep growing. This was very, very shocking when David Schwartz was stating in Blockstars, excuse me, with the CEO from Persis, talking about the EVM sidechain. That architecture consists of the XRPL. Well, no, not the XRPL. It consists of Ethereum, well, EVM, the Tendermint, and Tender ETH, I believe it's called, or ETH Tender. So it's a collaboration or a combination between Tendermint and Ethereum. And it also has, they had went to go and test Polkadot, but they decided not to go with that, and they went with Cosmos itself, which is where the Tendermint comes in, because that offers what it needs to do in terms of scalability. So that's what this chain is. But on this chain now, this chain from XRPL, leaving out of the side chain to the Ethereum virtual machine over here, to this ecosystem that allows the XRPL to go into other ecosystems, Ethereum ecosystems, meaning you can get RLUSD on Ethereum now, you can get RLUSD on Polygon now, you can get RLUSD in your MetaMask wallet, you can get RLUSD in more places now. On that bridge, the transfer mechanism is XRP. So think about that. XRP on the XRPL being used to move some value from here to this bridge. XRP is used over here again, and then when it gets over to Ethereum, that would be a different coin. That would be the ETH coin at that point, if that model continues to stay that way. So you have two places now where XRP will be utilized to get to Ethereum. So that being said, David Schwartz had discussed another model of a stablecoin, a collateralized XRP collateralized stablecoin. And I've only heard this once before, and that was from Kava. That was from Kava. I'll play that one afterwards if I can find it again. Check it out.
Far better to make it there. It has more than 10 years been on mainnet, and it's a lifetime. It's something very, very important for a blockchain. So the main reason to do that is for different applications. So for example, gaming, metaverse, or even some DeFi protocols, all this kind of application that requires a little bit more of custom logic on chain that can be very verifiable and transparent. Then it's important that we have a place to put all this. XRPL can have it through amendments, but it's a more complex process in terms of scalability, and smart contracts can be a very cheap and fast way to bring these things on chain while being on the XRPL ecosystem.
For example, you could build an XRP collateralized stablecoin very quickly on the side chain, whereas building it on the main chain would be very complicated, and you'd have to get a consensus that it's a benefit to the ecosystem as a whole, whereas it might just be useful for something you're doing.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
You heard that there. David Schwartz saying an XRP collateralized stablecoin. So XRP will have some price stability then, or could have some price stability if it's going to be collateral backing a stablecoin going on the sidechain, if they were to use that, if they were to have a stablecoin on the sidechain, right? That could totally be it, right? But there's got to be a stablecoin or stablecoins that are going to be used on that sidechain. So I don't know. I guess we'll see where this leads. So here we have the CEO of Kava here, Brian Kerr, and he's talking about creating a MakerDAO type of stablecoin using collateral of other crypto assets. So in this scenario here, this developer here, again, not just David Schwartz, he is talking about sidechains, and he's talking about collateralizing a stablecoin using XRP. Check it out. Check it out.
And it was actually through one of our other investors, Ripple. They asked us to put together a proposal. So we were more like a software and development shop at that time. They asked us to put together a proposal for effectively like a MakerDAO system, but using XRP as collateral. And we went to the whiteboard and we drew up a design, and it was effectively a side chain that was able to take assets on XRP, move it over, move it to the side chain, and then use it as collateral where we could issue our own stable coins. And really the goal for Ripple's perspective was they wanted to have a stable coin that they could give to their remittance businesses, money service businesses that were using their X-Rapid products and others. But once we designed that, we realized, well, actually, shoot, we could just design this for all the other assets. We can make a generalized lending platform. And from that point forward, we really did a 180. We pivoted fully mid 2019, and we launched the Kava platform as it's known today, which at the time was a single application blockchain that offered collateralized loans.
We've gone quite far there. Sorry there, Brian. Well, we're going to jump back to here again, where we were at Brad Garlinghouse. It was here, I believe we were. We were talking about Japan. Okay. So, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has shaken up the crypto world. He recently spoke about a possible yen-backed stablecoin. I'm not the only one. This news comes as Ripple gets ready to launch its own USD peg stablecoin. These moves show Ripple's growing impact on digital currencies and stablecoin. I posted that this morning at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock my time. This is what it'll look like. Just to show you again. XRP. We already have the RLUSD. Ripple is looking at making a Japanese stablecoin, the JPY. I guarantee you will see these come out as they are needed. In what order? I don't know, but you will see them come out as needed. Right? We know Great Britain, the UK is working on their legislation for stablecoins. Let's see where they're at actually. So here we are on ESMA. What is ESMA again? ESMA is the European Securities and Markets Authorities. All right, they're keeping track of the stablecoin here. Markets, well, one of them. There's also the EBA, European Banking Authority. They are the ones like really close to the stablecoin. But here, ESMA is coming out with the security regulations behind the stablecoin in Europe. So markets and crypto asset regulation, MiCA, and by December 30th, 2024 is when MiCA comes into power, which is all about stablecoin regulations. They will have an 18-month lead-in period where it's going to be like a soft implementation. And then in July 2026, I want to say, is the hard implementation where it's you need to comply now. If you're going to have a stablecoin, you must comply. There's going to be old companies who are going to be grandfathered in. For instance, Circle, they have the EURC. That's already out in Europe already. What else? There's a few other coins out there as well. I don't know all of them, but there's that one as well. So that'll be grandfathered in because they were adhering to regulatory guidance and framework prior to regulations actually dropping. So when regulations drop, other people will need to catch up, and that's how head starts happen. So here we are. That's how we get there. That's how we get the Chinese one. That's how we get the Europe one. That's how we get the Mexican one. That's how we get the Brazil one. That's how we get, I don't know what that is, CHF. One of them. That's how we get that one. That's what that is. That's how RippleNet works. Okay? And people, I guess, have a differing opinion of how I view it. But I view RippleNet as an RTGS system, a real-time growth settlement system. Ripple is known to work with banks. They're known to work and focus in the wholesale settlements and reconciliation remittance, I guess, part of the industry itself. So for them to be moving money on RippleNet, because RippleNet is an entire separate thing. It's an entire real-time growth settlement system. Let me show you. Let me show what I mean. Okay, it'll be much easier that way. All right, so this is an image from an article that came out talking about Amex, American Express. But this image down here from 2017, this is about RippleNet, how RippleNet works. Right? You're not going to take their product and try to hide it from me. All right? That's not how it's happening. So with RippleNet is a real-time growth settlement system. So picture real-time growth settlement system as it's a regular correspondent banking. The corresponding banking hops from this bank to this bank to this bank, across here and down to finally here till it gets to that person you're sending money to. But on a wholesale side of things, from central bank to another bank to another bank to another bank, and finally to the end receiver at this point. Right? There's a path that the money needs to take to transfer the value, to swap from US here to Canadian here, from Canadian to Swedish dollars here, from Swedish whatever to wherever. Has to continuously swap. That's how correspondent banking works. So for digital asset, same thing applies. RippleNet has its own for lack of better terms, correspondent banking architecture there. So any bank in RippleNet can access this mesh, if you will. Or if you're not within that mesh, you can still access these transfer of values through holding XRP and moving RLUSD, as we had seen within this, right? RLUSD is already out. Or you can use the XRP ledger itself for some of the products built on top of that. So when you go across there, likelihood it's going to find its way to XRP to transfer that value really quickly, because XRP can go to several banks at once immediately through what's known as pathfinding. And this is American Express's setup from 2017. All right, this is an excerpt taken from RippleNet. That's what RippleNet is. Ripple now introduced their stablecoin, the RLUSD, and this one soon to come out as well. So we are almost there. Before, none of these existed, and when it came out, people thought that RLUSD was going to replace XRP. Why would it replace XRP when XRP is the thing moving and swapping and transferring and transitioning that actual value to settle that remittance, to settle it? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And in a scaled out view now, scale it out, and you're looking down further. This is the actual bank now. The bank sending currency to this intermediary here, where it goes through RippleNet, which we had just looked at, comes out from that as another thing of value, whether that's RLUSD, RLMXN, RLYEN, RL, whatever the heck it is, wholesale, on the wholesale side of things. And from wholesale, that can be converted to retail at that point. Or can retail hold it? I don't think retail can hold it, because like XRP, for stability, I think there might be a holding limit, which adds price stability to things such as a digital asset. The longer people hold something, the more value it has. So there'd be an incentive to hold it, just like XRP started off holding 20 XRP as a reserve, and then it dropped down to 10 XRP. So I can definitely foresee a holding limit. So as I talk to my AI friend here, Perplexity, if RLUSD was a wholesale stablecoin, implementing a minimum limit could indeed be one approach to help maintain price stability. Let's elaborate on this concept and explore some additional considerations. Now, the reason for holding it would be like people have to hold it. That's the reason. It creates that price stability. And if it's on a wholesale perspective or wholesale side of things, that's a large quantity being held. Not like 10 XRP right now. In the future, 10 XRP could be worth X amount of money, whatever that money is denominated in a non-jurisdictional way. So implementing a minimum limit on a wholesale stablecoin like RLUSD could help maintain price stability in several ways. Price floor. The minimum limit would act as a price floor, preventing the stablecoin's value from falling below a certain threshold. This could help instill confidence in the stablecoin stability among other institutional users, reduce volatility. By restricting the lower bound at the price, a minimum limit could help reduce overall price volatility, making the stablecoin more attractive for large-scale transactions and settlements. Again, Ripple focused on the wholesale side of things, the RTGS, real-time gross settlement, as we've gone through RippleNet already. That's just through RippleNet. So all these individuals, these companies that are using RippleNet will be using RLUSD automatically. They will be using RLYEN automatically. They will be required to hold a limited amount, whatever that is. Additional stability mechanisms. While a minimum limit can be helpful, it's typically used in conjunction with other stabilization mechanisms for wholesale stablecoins. Asset backing ensure the stablecoin is fully backed by high quality liquid assets to maintain its peg. Redemption guarantees offering institutional users the ability to redeem the stablecoin for the underlying asset par value. Smart contract controls, implementing algorithmic controls to adjust supply based on demand and market conditions. and reserve management actively managing the reserve asset to ensure sufficient liquidity and to maintain the peg. All right. So for wholesale stablecoin like RLUSD, which would likely be used for large-scale transactions between financial institutions, does that not sound like Ripple's marketing model strategy to you? Does that not look like who Ripple's, advertising to? Additional factors should be considered. Regulatory compliance, ensuring that the stablecoin meets regulatory requirements for wholesale financial products and services. Ripple hasn't dropped their stablecoin out now. They say they're testing it, but they're waiting for regulations. Clear rules of the road from whoever it is, Congress, from the House, from whoever is coming out with these regulations, from the blue, from the red, whatever side it may be. The regulations need to be clear, or somewhat clear at least, for issuers to want to issue these style of stablecoins. Designing the stablecoin to work seamlessly with existing financial infrastructure, potentially with other digital assets. Ripple's all about interoperability. Settlement finality, providing a quick and irrevocable settlement to meet the needs of financial users. Scalability, ensuring the system can handle large transaction volumes, typically in wholesale markets. Alright, XRP settles things immediately. I'm not going to snap too loud if it'll blow your eardrums. Immediately. And with RLUSD being the stablecoin of choice on that ledger, it's highly likely that will be the thing that's moving of value. Whether it's XRP being moved or not. Right? Whether they choose XRP or not in RippleNet or in XRP ledger. On the XRP ledger. They can use whatever at this point. You can use whatever you want. It's interoperable. But the cheapest thing to move value is this little asset here. This little XRP. You better believe they're going to choose that. Right? With pathfinding for you. Everything you need to secure the ledger. Well, I'm going to come off this thing. I'm going to finish off this drink here too. I hope you guys found some value in this. Enjoy your day. Love you all. And I'll see you on the next one.
We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.